Time for some decaf coffee. Hello friends, and welcome to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Today, we're gonna go nowhere. Literally, this road goes to nowhere. I'll tell you about it. Let's go. The road to nowhere does go somewhere. It ends right at the end of this barricade here in a quarter-mile long tunnel that was built in 1941. There's a parking area right here, a very short distance to the tunnel from where the road ends. You can explore where the US government just didn't complete a task and then left the county of Swain here in western North Carolina to deal with this road that really should have been finished. Very echoey. This tunnel's a lot longer than what it looks. Okay, this is creepy. This is pretty creepy. I can't explain it. It's just this eerie feeling in here. You can barely see. I should have brought a flashlight. The tunnel's a lot longer than what it looks from the entrance. It's weird. There's a family in here walking behind. Clearly. There's stuff written all over these walls, all the way down the tunnel, both sides. Had to wait a little while for some of the families to pass on by. A lot of photo ops out here, and clearly this is an easy walk. It's an easy drive up here, but this is it. It's just this tunnel. You see, back in the Second World War, there was a high demand for aluminum, and a company called Alcoa, American Aluminum something, they teamed up with the US government. The deal was that if the government were to pay for a dam to be built, the Fontana Dam, they would then use the hydroelectric power at the aluminum plant to build all of their bullets in their airplanes and all the metal that was needed for all this stuff. So that's what they agreed to. In that process, they flooded the area after building the dam, and several communities were lost among these mountains. Now, when the water's low, I hear you can see chimney tops and remnants of some of these communities, but the government just kicked everybody out. And then it was about the same time that the park became a thing. So Smoky Mountain National Park, right around then, was evicting people in the hills around then too. There are still some trails that go off into the distance. You can get a view of some of the leftover houses that are here. You got to hike quite a ways to get out into the middle of the mountains for it. There's also some cemeteries if you care to, by boat or by foot. About a 10-mile hike, and there's a series of cemeteries from some of those old communities if you'd like to go pay your respects. This is it. This is nowhere. Right here. Right here where I'm standing is the end of the road. I think actually the asphalt ended over there, but the trail begins here and the tunnel is just right back there. Some beautiful views up here. Doesn't look like it's that long, does it? Until you get in there. But we're not going in there yet. A lot of effort has gone into the spray paint art here, all through the tunnel. You can't really see most of it, and for some reason my flash is not working on the camera, but take my word for it. There's a lot of graphic things, a lot of nice things too. Sprayed all over this place, even on the trees. Okay, here we go. Back into the dark tunnel. About a quarter of the way in here, it starts getting really weird. I know I mentioned it earlier, but it just feels strange. They say that this tunnel is haunted. I can understand why. I don't know any reasons, or to my knowledge, there's no stories of any mischief or death in here, but I don't know. This might have been used in a movie at some point. And the story continues. So what happened was, the US government, after displacing all these people in the mountains and flooding their communities, churches, schools, all their homes, everything, they promised to make this road so all of those people could come back and visit their ancestors in the cemeteries and such. Well, that never happened. They just gave up on the project. And in lieu of failing miserably for all those mountain people, the government finally decided to give Swain County $52 million. But they didn't do it really quickly. They paid it in increments, and finally Swain County in 2016 had to sue the US government to get the remainder of the money, somewhere around $40 million that they still owed nearly 50 years later. And that's what's left. If you're an artist, specifically a spray paint artist, this is a really nice canvas for you, possibly. It'd be a good place to practice. You have a quarter mile, well, say a half a mile worth of wall space, and really nobody to bother you. You're pretty far out here. You're maybe 15 minutes at the very end of Everett Street in Bryson City. I recommend a breakfast at the Everett Street Diner or Mountain Perks Coffee. Best coffee in town. It's on Everett Street, right next to it. You just take the road straight up. Easy to get to. Parking lot is full of family vehicles. If you do come out here to spray paint, I would recommend not spray painting the speed signs. It could be confusing, dangerous. 85 would not be recommended for these mountain roads. Thanks for joining me today, friends, on this road to nowhere. It was a pretty cool hike and walk down that tunnel. A little creepy. It was fun. Also, didn't want to leave out the part of the story that the US government didn't just totally abandon ship on this. There was an actual problem that they found in the rocks, that there was giving off some bad gases, and they thought that over time that would be bad for the wildlife in the area, the runoff from the rain and such. So the environmental side of things also halted the progress, but still, it's a sad thing for those mountain families that have lost access to their loved ones over the years and their homes and their communities. If you'd like to come out here and drive on the road to nowhere, it's very easy to get to, right outside of Bryson City, right at the end of Everett Street. Friends, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. If you like what you're seeing, hit like, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. And on a positive note, the US government's done some really great things, like made the National Park Service and preserved amazing parks like the Great Smoky Mountains. See you in the next video, friends.